Now, Vietnam is overtaking Thailand, according to the headlines, which would have sounded unbelievable not too long ago. In this video, we're going to be examining Vietnam's growth, what those headlines actually mean, and how it compares to Thailand in terms of the growth and in terms of how both places feel like to actually live there. And I'm going to be talking about my experiences having traveled to both of them extensively. So in this video, I'm going to break down Vietnam's huge astronomical economic rise and how it compares to Thailand in terms of growth. So let's start off with some context. A few decades ago, Vietnam was one of the poorest countries in the world after the war, and Thailand industrialized much earlier. Thailand became the tourism and expat hub first. Thailand built the infrastructure and systems way before Vietnam, but in recent years, Vietnam has been going through a major growth phase. Its economy grew around 8% in 2025, which is one of the highest rates in Asia, whereas Thailand only grew around 2 to 3%. So when you read all these headlines saying that Vietnam is overtaking Thailand or it's surpassing Thailand, this is what they're meaning. Thailand is still much wealthier in terms of its infrastructure and in terms of the average person. If you go to Ho Chi Minh City, you can see development happening in real time. There are cranes everywhere, and there's just so much infrastructure projects expanding. It feels like a city that's still building itself. And a good example of this is the metro. Ho Chi Minh officially opened its first metro line that's clean and modern and reliable, but it's just one line. Now contrast that with Bangkok, for example. They've already built out the MRT and the BTS. In Bangkok, you feel like there's much more order and it feels more reliable and more mature, whereas Vietnam feels like it's on the rise. It's continuously building and expanding. And this doesn't mean the entire city is like in this developing kind of gritty phase. Some areas are extremely developed. I was absolutely stunned when I visited recently. When I went to Thu Thiem Riverside Park, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. When you look at the District 1 skyline, it's just absolutely stunning. You have glass skyscrapers lining the waterfront, massive high-rise developments, and it looks like something from Singapore or Shenzhen. And if you were to ask somebody who's never been to Vietnam before, if you were to ask them, does this look like Vietnam to you? They would have no idea that it'd be Vietnam. So this is the kind of silent growth that Vietnam has been going through that the world has not even really been noticing. It's like the only people that are aware of this growth are the people who've seen it with their own eyes. And it's absolutely so impressive. And keep in mind, Vietnam has only done this in a couple decades, whereas Thailand, for example, has had a much longer time to grow. Now, of course, most of Vietnam is not going to look like this. It's mainly the major districts and mainly Ho Chi Minh. But if you go to other cities like Da Nang, Vietnam, or Nha Trang, Vietnam, or Hanoi, it's got so much charm. It's got so much raw history to it. Just feels like this raw, gritty, authentic, local vibe. Now, just right quick, if you're an American living abroad or you're planning to move, you need to understand how US taxes actually work. It's one of those things no one really talks about until it becomes a problem. You see, a lot of people assume that once you leave the United States, you're completely done, but that's not how it works at all. The US still requires citizens to file every single year, even if you live overseas, even if you work remotely, even if you don't owe anything. And the hard part is knowing what actually applies to you. You have foreign income, you have foreign bank accounts, you have exclusions, you have reporting requirements. There are so many different layers, and most people just scour the internet for random advice, and that's where a lot of mistakes can happen. That's why I personally use Fresh Legal. They built an AI tax bot specifically for Americans living abroad, and it walks you through a tailored flow based on your exact situation and helps you understand what you're actually required to file before you ever speak to a CPA or a lawyer. And this isn't generic AI pulling random answers from the internet. This bot was actually created by US lawyers, so it's grounded in real compliance and it's 100% legit. And the reason I like it is because it gives you clarity on what to do next. So if you're living abroad or planning to relocate soon, then this is something you should at least be aware of. You can check it out, link in the description. Now, what does this actually mean for someone thinking about whether to move to Vietnam versus Thailand? Now, Thailand is simply easier, especially Bangkok. If you just wanted to move somewhere and easily be able to figure everything out, Thailand is 100% going to be easier. It's going to be a lot more smooth. It's got superior infrastructure, more convenience, more English proficiency, and overall a larger expat community. And you can plug into Thailand very fast, whereas Vietnam requires a lot more adjustments. Vietnam to me feels a lot more raw. It feels more local. It feels less curated for foreigners. Now let's talk about one of the biggest practical differences, which is the cost of living. Now this is where Vietnam wins. Now across the board, Vietnam feels about 30% cheaper than Thailand in terms of the food, in terms of the taxis, in terms of shopping, especially shopping for clothes, for example, going out drinking and getting a nice condo. Everything across the board seems to be around 30%. At least that's what I felt when I traveled there. Basic services are much cheaper, like haircuts, cleaning, laundry, small conveniences. Now, while Bangkok might be a little bit more expensive, all across the board, you get more value with Bangkok. If you're spending 50 bucks on a meal, that's gonna be like a first class, like a Michelin, like really high class dining meal. For example, a Western breakfast in Phuket might cost around $10 to $15, but that same meal, that same breakfast would cost around $3 to $5 in Da Nang, Vietnam. So all across the board, you're gonna find much more affordability in Vietnam. I mean, the prices are just significantly cheaper. The grabs are significantly cheaper. The shopping, if you're buying clothes, if you're buying smoothie, if you're just buying these like random things on an everyday basis, you're gonna spend a lot less in Vietnam. And if you're looking for that luxurious sky-rise lifestyle where you're living at a penthouse and a really nice, comfortable, premium lifestyle, you still have that in Vietnam. For example, this is one of my friends' condos in Ho Chi Minh. He was paying around $1,000 a month. He's got absolutely amazing amenities. It looks very like Bangkok-esque, you know. But all in all, if money wasn't an issue, I'd say Bangkok hands down provides more value, more convenience, more infrastructure, more amenities, more lifestyle perks. But if money was your sole goal, I'd say Vietnam. So to wrap this video up, I believe you have to visit both. I think both have so much value to offer. And if you like Thailand, you're definitely gonna love Vietnam and vice versa. And if Bangkok wasn't my home, I think I probably would move to Ho Chi Minh. I really liked it that much. I love the grittiness. I love how it's like developing. I love the people. I love the fashion. I love the shopping there, the food, and just like the lifestyle and the youthfulness of it. It's just really it's really exciting. So let me know what you think in the comments. And if you're interested in pursuing content creation and making a serious income from content and being able to travel the world like I do, and you want to be personally mentored by me, then message me on Instagram at I'm Paul Lee, or you can visit the link in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.